Hello and welcome to another episode of Kia Electric News. The latest on the Kia 2024 ICCU recall. Whilst I was about to record a video about the new US EV6 VCMS update, which is a vehicle charging management system, on Thursday, I received a call from my dealer to say that the Kia UK has finally released the 2024 ICCU recall 241041. My car is now booked into my dealer the week after next. It would seem that the German owners are also receiving a recall letter, as you can see in this thread from the German EV6 forum. I think everywhere has now received this recall, so at long last ICCU corner will be retired from Kia Electric News, I hope. Details of the US EV6 voluntary recall for VCMS or Vehicle Charging Management System by any other name, SC311, can be found in the video link above. Since I recorded the earlier video, Alan SH has uploaded the TSB for SC311 to the Kia EV forums. So this is it on screen. It's virtually the same kind of details we've already seen in the Q&A document. If this does come to the rest of the world, then the recall campaign number will be 240026. So we all have to wait and see if we get it. This week the Korean Kia EV3 pricing was released. There is a link to the video I made earlier in the week up here. I've used the Korean pricing to try and guesstimate the likely UK pricing. Only time will tell if I'm anywhere near the mark. They also showed 7 colours that will be available in Korea, despite reports that there will be 9. The only other colour I've seen that's been mentioned elsewhere is Terracotta, which is that orange colour, which might well be this one in this image here. There is still one missing colour though, so I wonder what it will be. I agree with what others have said in the comments about the colour range being a bit boring. It reminds me of what you can get in the UK, which are Dulux paints interior pastel shades from the 1990s, sad to say. During the week, I was made aware of this Kia EV3 test drive. It's the first one to be released, and it's from TfL Studios, which took part in winter testing of the EV3, and they actually talk about the process and some changes to the design of the EV3, which is very interesting. I'll put the link above. A Korean car blog reports that the first ever spy shots of the forthcoming Kia EV4 have been captured. The images are from YouTube channel Healer TV. Hopefully more images will appear soon. Kia America has achieved all-time best monthly sales for the Kia EV9 and Sportage SUVs. This has led Kia America to its second best sales month in company history in May. Kia sold 2,187 EV9 SUVs, which is up 39% month on month, marking its best ever monthly sales and the second consecutive growth of sales growth, driven by the EV9. Kia's overall EV sales grew 127% year on year to 7,197 units, the highest EV monthly sales ever. Sales of the EV6 during May were 2,660. Inside EVs reports that Hyundai's US EV sales were up 42% in May, defying the narrative that EV sales are slowing down. And that narrative is absolute BS in my opinion. In May, Hyundai sold 5,548 electric cars based on its EGMP platform in the US, 62% more than a year ago. EGMP EVs represent 7.1% of Hyundai's total volume, up from 4.9% a year ago. The Ioniq 5's previous best month ever was July 2023, when 4,135 units were sold. There's also the Hyundai Kona Electric, for which numbers are not reported as they're counted together with the internal combustion Kona. We also do not know how many Ioniq 5N sales were in these sales figures, because they counted just as standard Ioniq 5s. Hyundai BEV sales last month are as follows. The Ioniq 5, 4,449. Ioniq 6, 1,099. Hyundai Kona, unknown because they're bundled in with the rest of the Konas. Total for the Ioniq family is 5,548, which is up 62% and 7.1% share of Hyundai total sales. Inside EVs reports that Genesis Motors will use Lucid Electric motors in its upcoming electric convertible. Lucid Motors, the maker of the Air luxury electric sedan, is also in the business of making and selling electric motors to other companies. The American startup is the official supplier of front E-motors to Formula E teams, and Aston Martin recently did a deal with Lucid to get its hands on ready-made motors for its upcoming EVs. Now Genesis Hyundai Motor Group's luxury brand will reportedly do the same, at least for its upcoming flagship electric convertible. According to South Korea's CISA journal, via Drive Tesla Canada, Genesis is in the final stages of negotiations to buy a batch of electric motors from Lucid Motors. Even though Hyundai is neck deep in creating its own modular electric platforms and driver units, the source claims the timing doesn't allow Genesis to fit its in-house developed motors in time for launch. Surprising, really. Following last week's news of the first Kia EV9 rolling off the production line in Hyundai Group's US Georgia factory, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 will begin production in October. The Georgia site, which Hyundai calls its Meta plant, forms part of a vast $7.6 billion EV complex that includes a joint venture battery factory with LG Energy Solution. The site will ultimately build 6 EVs from Hyundai, Kia and Genesis brands, and has the capacity to build up to 300,000 EVs annually. Auto News reports that the plant will have the flexibility to increase capacity to 500,000 units depending on demand. According to Hyundai America COO Jose Munoz, the EV production line will be completed in October and manufacturing of the Ioniq 5 will start immediately. The complex's battery factory won't open for another year though, meaning the Ioniq 5's battery will continue to be sourced from SK On's facility in Hungary. The US-built Ioniq 5 is expected to be eligible for the full $7,500 federal EV tax credit when local assembly starts, even though the battery pack will initially be sourced from Europe. All future EVs built at the Meta plant will use batteries from the adjacent LG Energy Solution factory when it comes online. Korea Economic Daily reports that Hyundai Glovis Co., the logistics unit of South Korea's Hyundai Motor Group, and Ecopro Co., the country's leading electric vehicle battery materials producer, has teamed up to advance their technology and build a global network for the electric vehicle battery recycling business. The two companies said on Monday they signed a memorandum of understanding on business cooperation late last month. Under the initial agreement, the partners will cooperate across businesses, including recycling, process automation and building a supply chain management system for used batteries. Hyundai Glovis handles vehicles made by Hyundai Motor Group's 2 automaking units, Hyundai Motor Co. and Kia Corporation, for overseas shipments. So that's how my car got here from Korea, I guess. The logistics firm also counts Volkswagen AG and other global car makers amongst its clients. Hyundai Glovis currently operates 52 logistics centres in Korea and 96 distribution bases outside Korea. Taking advantage of its global network, Hyundai Glovis said it aims to gain the upper hand in collecting used EV batteries, securing waste battery processing technology and building a used battery supply chain. And finally, the second Hyundai 5N Pikes Peak video behind the scenes thing has appeared. It's called Pikes Peak Lightning in the Throttle Part 2. The Hyundai video blurb says, as they continue to race against an accelerated timeline, Hyundai and Brian Herter Autosport team head to a remote location to push the Ioniq 5N to its absolute limits. Learning how its battery temperature behaves as they mimic the Pikes Peak hill climbs, grueling twists and turns, meet 3 of the 4 drivers, Ron Zaras, Robin Shute and Paul Dallenbach, as we see what it takes to set the fastest electric production SUV crossover record. Next on the list, bring it up a little over 14,000 feet above sea level, where the roads are narrower and the stakes are even higher. The race modified vehicle is shown. It's not available for sale, and also professional drivers do not attempt. That's the warning on the video. Anyway, that's all for this week. Thanks for all the likes, comments and subscribes and other support. Thank you for watching.